What the fuck are they doing out there? Cutting some trees? Oh God, this view is so boring. Oh, there's just nothing to see. Oh God damn it. I wish life were a little more, you know, exciting. I wish I could look out my window and see something other than just some fuckers cutting up some trees and what is the side of my fence. But every once in a while, I think that it's best to remember that, I don't know, fucking, this is a video. It's a video for Tang Garden. We're doing Tang Garden. Come on. Tang Garden, this big ass bitch right here by Francesco and Mr. Ziti and Mizak. Those are some names that I'm not gonna fuck up. Is a tile placement game in the vein of Carcassonne, I guess? What this game has you doing is on your turn, you're gonna do one of two very easy things. Whenever you first think they're easy, and then as soon as you have to make that decision, your brain freezes up and you just... all you have to do is build the garden, in which case you have one of the 4 stacks. You're gonna take a tile, you're gonna put it on the garden, and yay, you've completed your turn. Or you are going to decorate the garden, in which case you're gonna draw a hidden number of cards from the decorations, look at them, pick which one you want, and you put that decoration on the board, and it makes it all 3D and fancy and sexy, and it's very, very nice. One thing you will notice when you start playing this game is how fucking pretty it is, and it is fucking pretty. Don't let this pretty ass box fool you though, that this is a beautiful game with some substance. Now, as I mentioned, whenever you actually draw a tile, that's gonna be from one of 3 different stacks. It's going to be a wood stack, a stone stack, a water stack, or a yin-yang stack that has a whole bunch of random shit in it. In front of you is going to be your personal player board. There are going to be 3 tracks on it, each corresponding to a specific element in yonder game. And what you're trying to do is get these tracks up so you can get visitors and people to come look at the garden. And this is where the main, I don't want to say confusion of the game comes in, but the hardest thing there is to explain, because the gimmick of this game is its beautiful, beautiful board and its beautiful, beautiful landscapes. It's the easiest if I can just show you what the fuck I'm talking about. In every side of the board, there is going to be a place for a small landscape and a place for a large landscape. And what you're trying to do is build these in such a way that whenever you have a visitor, you put them in the garden and you face them one of the directions and they can see these beautiful, beautiful tiles, which basically boil down to whatever the fucking symbol is on the tile. So you're gonna have a kid who really, really likes to look at animals. So you're like, oh, I'm gonna point him in the direction that has the most animals, and I'll get 2 points per animal icon he sees, and he sees the entire landscape. He doesn't just see the icons in front of him, he sees everything. So the close and the far. And when the game is all said and done, those landscapes look beautiful. And it's really a draw, and you're like, man, it's really nice. Or there might be people who don't give a fuck about them landscapes. They give a fuck about terrain. So you will stack them in a direction. He's like, oh, for every rock terrain that's in front of me, I get 2 points to a maximum of 10 points. It's kind of a low scoring game because the main points in this game, and the only way points are calculated, is by that fat cash, that money, that yen, those little coins with the squares in them that are in this game you can't see me pointing at and this game you can't see me pointing at. But they exist in a lot of games. It's right there. So at the beginning, everyone starts with their starter person, and depending on who you pick will give you a boost on your track. The tracks will have to move up once all 3 of them have passed a certain threshold. You get to take another visitor. And these visitors have 2 things. One, at the bottom, they have their scoring condition for the game. So, oh, I will score based on this, and at the end of the rule book, there's a very easy way. Some of the symbology is a little, but it works out. And they also give you a special ability that will last up until you place that little sumbitch out there on the board and rotate them in the position. So my kid, every time I place a fish or a bird decoration, he gets 2 coins until I put them out there that I don't get that anymore. So whenever you place your tile is going to have an icon on it, and that's the thing you get to move up on your board. If you are connecting roads, that will give you a coin. If you are closing a fixture, so if you're closing a lake, closing a rocky thing, or closing a forest, you get to move up something additional. Very similar to, there was this other tile laying game that was kind of important that some people don't like, but I actually really like, Carcassonne. So whenever you used to close the castles in Carcassonne, place your dude there, boom. And that's the garden side of things. The garden will build up. The only other thing you need to know about the garden is that whenever you place a tile over a little token that allows you to take a landscape, you take the landscape and you put it where you want to put it. I'm sure I'll have photos showing all what this shit is. All right, so you with me? First thing you can do, build that garden, make it look pretty, set it up in such a way to move your little track up. Easy peasy, Georgian wheezy. The next thing you gotta do is decorate this shit, because no one wants a bland garden. You gotta have a fruitful, beautiful garden with beautiful bushes and beautiful trees and beautiful pavilions, etc. Now, what you're gonna do is you are going to take a certain number of cards from the decoration pile, and it could be any number of things. It'll be fishes and trees and pavilions and just random stuff. But the reason why this random stuff is good, because this is a whole separate other game that you're playing for set collection. If you've ever played a game like Sushi Go or anything else with set collection, Seven Wonders, that game, set collection is important. So basically you just get sets of trees. So for every different type of tree, maybe the first tree will give you no points, but every different tree you get after that could get you a lot of points. And there's a lot of points to be had, and specifically a lot of points to be missed in the decoration, because at first you're like, why do I even need decorations? I don't care about that. Why do I want to put a fish down if I don't get any points? Well, because if you put a fish and a bird, you get 6 points. Coins in the game, whatever. The decorations, that is the side of the game that you might not really pay attention to, but it's a big draw, and there's a lot of fucking points to be missed there, and if you ignore one or the other, you gotta do it all, baby. You gotta do it all! Because if you don't do it all, you're doing nothing, you get no points. Now, you are gonna fall into one of two types of people when you play this game. You are either going to be the type of person who wants to build all of the things, which is this guy. Or you are going to be the type of person who wants to build all of the landscapes, which is not this guy. And when I played it that way with my wife, she filled everything in, and she was basically running the game. And it was infuriating because I had to be reactive instead of active. And that's not the way you want to play this game. You need to be active at all times. But building the landscapes puts you in a very distinct advantage, because when you go to get more people, once you get all your threshold moved up and you take more people to put in the garden, you can use extra abilities to try to find the one that fit the situation that you built. And if you don't have control of that, you're missing out again on a lot of points. Let's do some housekeeping. It is for 14 and up. Who the fuck knows why? 1 to 4 players. There is a solo mode in this that I haven't really messed with. There's not a lot of player interaction beyond laying down a tile. There is only one little small group. There's an emperor, a empress, and a lady. And if at any point the lady can see the emperor and the empress, or they don't like looking at each other. There's no line of sight blocking or anything like that. But if you build it in such a way where these two people don't want to look at each other, you can maybe fuck over the other person. But in the base game, there's no real player interaction really beyond that, and the solo is just a smaller map. Who the fuck, whatever. 45 minutes. It's about 45 minutes. It's kind of short. Your first game is going to go about an hour, hour 15, because there's a lot to explain. I mean, you only do one of two things on your turn. You either build the garden or make it pretty. But there's so many little clickety clogs that go in between that, they can really fuck you up if you don't really explain it to someone, because this game is very pretty. It's very fun, and specifically, come with me on this journey. Whenever you place someone down, like I mentioned, they're not just looking in the straight line, they're looking at the entire thing over there. And when we first played that, I didn't know that's what it was. So I thought I only had to line it up with one, and I'm like, wait a minute, if I'm only looking at this one thing, and I can only really see maybe 2 points per, like, where's the scoring come from? But then I realized, no, you see everything. The only time it matters when they're in a straight line is for the ones who want to see certain terrain. Now, this game was a Kickstarter darling. It came with this one here, which just gives more stuff, and this one here, which also gives more stuff, but spooky. And I went all in because I thought that it looked like the kind of game I would be able to play over and over again. I'm a big fan fan of tile laying games and can count on one hand how many tile laying games that I own. One. This one. Oddly enough, something happened in my life, and this is the only tile laying game that I own. I'm not counting Azul. It's not a tile laying game. It's a puzzle game. It's fucking different. It's fucking different. And I wanted that void to be filled. Also, it was beautiful. And full disclosure, which seems silly now, but when I got this, I kind of wanted it to be the new Takedo. I wanted it to be the new perfect game that I had that I could play with anybody, and I wanted a game that was about playing the game and not about winning. And it kind of succeeded. It is a game about playing the game. It's not a game about winning, but I mean, you're probably gonna win because the scores are very close together and you get lost in playing it, which is fine, but the playing it, is it fun enough to want me to play it again and again and again? And I think the answer is yes, because the more you play this, the more familiar you'll get with the tiles that are out there, because we found the difficulty in this game is moving one of the tracks up. Inevitably, every time you play, two of these tracks will be way up forward and one will be hanging back, and you've got to move that last one forward so you can start getting the extra people to visit the garden. The Tang garden of the Tang dynasty? Yes, 1618 to 1907 is considered the first golden age of the classical Chinese garden. And man, it's pretty. They got dragons. We don't have dragons in our garden. We have fucking snakes. Wait, snakes are like a dragon, but no legs and can't fly and is small and dumb, but it works. And then you include the extra things like there are, the wooden bits replacement and different scenarios and a little cat and other little things that make this Tang garden. Obviously, I'm wanting to justify my purchase, obviously. But you're looking at a man who played Gugong, one of the most beautifully crafted board games in history, and thought, it's okay. This one is not one that I think is just okay. Is it great? Time will tell, because time is on my side, at least until I die. And I think that Tang Garden is one of the first games that I've played in a long time that when I was done playing it, I wanted to play the base game again. And I wanted to play the base game again. And now I want to start adding things. Usually when I play a game that's like the base game and I have an expansion ready to go, I'll probably add that expansion like the second time, or maybe even the first in some cases. But in this case, I really wanted to spend more time with this little lady before I went ahead and brought in her sexy friend and her emo friend who we're not going to tell anyone about. Tang Garden is a lot of fun. It's a game that's worth playing, even if you don't plan on winning. It's just a good time. It's a fun puzzle. If you like laying tiles, it's a game for you. It's also probably not very expensive. I don't know how much I paid for it, but it's here. It's wonderful. I recommend you play it. Oh yeah, by the way, in my hard 100. This is a game, I wish I could fit all of this in this box. There's a very nice insert that honestly, probably gonna huck as soon as I figure out how to incorporate everything in. Oh, I do have a complaint though. The minis, really fucking small. And they're really small minis. I thought they were gonna be bigger, but they're really small. That one quibble aside, the game itself can be a little complex to teach to someone because it's deceptively simple. It's either play a tile or pick a card. That's it. You play a tile, you pick a card. Why am I playing the tile? Why am I picking the card? That's when it gets, fuck me, come on. That's when it gets complicated. That's when it turns from a simple activity to a game. If you love tiles, if you love cards, if you love pretty things with a little bit of substance and a whole lot of Tang. Ladies and gentlemen, pick yourself up a copy of Tang Garden because it's not going anywhere for me anytime soon. Man, it's really pretty. Look at this shit. Look how pretty that shit is. And then look at the little guy. Look at that fucking dragon. She's like feeding the dragon. I'm gonna pet the dragon. Look how beautiful this fucking game is. Man. Oh, and what else? What else? Oh, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that thickness. Look at that thickness. Not up there. That's some thinness, but whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, hope you and yours are well. Thank you so much for joining me on this, the latest edition of the Hard 100. Go find yourself a copy of Tang Garden. If you don't like Tang Garden, is it going to make you like tile laying games? If you don't already like tile laying games, nope. Sure as shit isn't. But if you love tile laying games, this will remind you why you love them in the first place. Hope you and yours are well. Stay healthy, stay safe, wash your goddamn hands. Peace out.